Tough, gritty win by our bunch, and I think we've been really missing that, just toughness and connection and making hustle plays and, really answering that call. So far this season, we've been kind of inconsistent with that, and so our guys, I'm proud of them. They made the decision to say, hey, listen, we're going to come out, we're going to play physical. And then they did a great job, too, of really just executing against, changing defenses. We had our spell in the first half where we had a few turnovers when they went to the 1-3-1, but once they calmed down, saw what was there, took what was available, they did a nice job strategically attacking it and kept them out of transition because we did a really nice job of not turning the ball over tonight. Quality possessions that ended with a shot and good rebound attempts. But getting back to holding the team to 40% is really important, and certainly doing a great job on a dynamic player like Denaje Harris is going to make a huge difference. And so just proud of our guys. They did a great job executing the game plan and stepping up when we had guys out and making the plays that they needed to make.
Yeah, sort of a coincidence that today on Dave Riggert's show, he's talking about maybe the fact that maybe maybe he was being too unselfish early in the season. Maybe he needed to take over the game a little more. And tonight, obviously he did that, playing without Bryce and Xavier maybe limited a little bit in the second half. Just is that something you do need from him at this point? Is it kind of time for him to take over and be the guy?
I think so, and it's not just because Bryce was out. Obviously, with Bryce being out, there's 14 points per game that wasn't in the arena tonight. That somebody's got to step up. But a few weeks ago we kind of flipped responsibilities with Mark and X. And whether you guys realize that or not, we always play with 2 point guards, but just within our offense and some things that we run, we felt like X was going to be the best version of himself, and Mark was going to do the best job of running our team, and those things were both correct. X has been a more efficient player. His assists have increased. His turnovers have gone down, and his scoring's been good. But I think Mark maybe took that a little too serious and said, listen, I'm going to really run the team, and he can do both. And so I thought this was a step in the right direction to say that he kind of finds that balance, because we do need him to run our team. But when you're a dynamic player like that, sometimes running the team is scoring as well, because it's about getting the best shot available relative to what they give you and who you are. And Mark's a guy that can take games over and do things like that, and we certainly needed him to be able to do that, and we're going to need it again moving forward.
Yeah, and Curbelo coming off a suspension. I think he played one game, but maybe you didn't know exactly how much they were going to lean on him. Obviously, he has a huge game, but when you shut down Harris the way you did, just how key was that, and how much was that the focus for you guys going into this game?
Well, it's huge, right? Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. If you say, hey, a dynamic player like Denaje, who had 30 and 20, and he's had 4 straight double-doubles, and he can really just impact the game so much. He commands a lot of attention and a lot of your game plan, and so somebody else has to, try to beat you. And I thought we did a nice job of cutting down on assisted baskets, and we could have done a better job on Curbelo, but he had to really work for all of those, right? I mean, how many dribble, contested, mid-range shots did he make? Again, our theory is always you can't make enough of those to beat us, and we could have done a better job here tonight. But he's a dynamic player. Man, he's hard to square off in a ball screen and stay in front, and he is good with that basketball. Obviously it was hard for them with Alvarez going out, playing only 5 minutes, whatever that injury was, and probably wore on them because they just didn't have multiple ball handlers and guys that could create out there in the game. But again, you do that good of a job on Denaje Harris, it's going to be really hard for a team to beat you.
You talked about the team being more consistent throughout tonight, just as a whole, and in Sunbelt play. Do you kind of feel like that South Alabama game was maybe the wake-up call as a realization of you need to be consistent to be able to win games like these in this kind of a conference?
Without a doubt. I mean, if you want to be good in your league, that's a huge key, and we needed that. I mean, obviously there was so much that was poor in that South Alabama game. That wasn't our team. That's not the team you guys have seen, and they know that. And so bad taste, wake-up call, all the analogies that you come up with. But, we said we're going to have to decide, are we going to be a different team? Is this going to be a game that helps us write the story that we want, or are we going to succumb to that? And I thought we did a great job responding to it. A lot of the issues that we had against South Alabama, we corrected those here tonight. And that's all you ask for, right? You guys respond and get better. And we talked about it in the locker room afterwards here tonight is, enjoy this win, enjoy it with great discipline. But, here's the challenge. Can you rest your body? Can you go to sleep? Can you wake up and come in here tomorrow and be hungry and have the humility to say, Coach, show me what I did a bad job of against Southern Miss so that it'll help me beat Arkansas State. And I tell these guys, in these Thursday, Saturday leagues I've been a part of, that's what you have to do, right? I'm not going to waste time and show them things that aren't going to help us on Saturday. It's only going to be those things, but you have to come in and say, where can I get better? Show me what I can do a better job. And then you go out and efficiently and get that done on the court to prepare.
And then offensively, 15 to 8 in the assist-to-turnover ratio. It's almost 2 to 1. Is that tonight? Was there some of the things that you were kind of looking for to see from this offense? I mean, we've always talked about them needing time to gel and to adjust to one another, but is that the kind of performance that you're looking for, or what are some ways you want to see them continue improving?
Yeah, I think just ball security, right? Just being strong, meeting passes, breaking down hands, simple, fundamental things. That's what translates to fewer turnovers. And guys just being unselfish, making the easy play, the extra pass. And I thought they did a great job with our execution tonight, and especially against the, zone to man, which they were doing. We ran a lot of our man things and got great looks. And so really proud of our guys for doing that. But I think the biggest key, guys performing and, finishing and making the shots that maybe they hadn't done up to this point was, I thought, guys like Eddie Ricks and A.J. Smith just lost themselves in the game defensively. Obviously, we talked about the numbers defensively and how they impacted that, but they benefited from it offensively as well, and they kind of got themselves in the flow of the game by just, really committing defensively, and that's what we need. And so the best version of those guys on offense came because of their commitment and their toughness on the defensive end.
When did you know that Will Lovings-Watts was going to be available and, not only available but able to contribute basically the minute he stepped on the floor?
You're not going to believe it. So Will has not had a live rep in practice until we came back from Christmas. That's the truth, okay? Well, he practiced twice in June, right? And then he got hurt and had surgery. And honestly, we thought he'd probably be out for the year with the injury and surgery that he had. And, our trainer said, hey, listen, he'll be available to start practicing after the Christmas break. And, man, he was just a difference maker jumping out there on the court. Now, he's going to make a ton of mistakes. He's going to be out of position. He's not going to have all the habits and things because he's not been in practice. But he's a tough, winning player, and that's what we've been needing. And so my staff came and they said, Coach, you're going to think this is crazy, but we need to consider asking Will if he wants to play this year. So I sat him down, and we talked about it, and this was 2 days ago, and I said, it's up to you. Obviously, years of eligibility, all those things are important, but, I think you can help this team. And I'm really surprised, number one, that you got healthy this quick, and I'm really surprised that you jump on the court and impact the game having been out. And he sure did tonight. He gave us a great spark, and I think he's only scratching the surface once he gets more reps and kind of finds his way. But I'm really thankful that he chose to make the team decision, very selfless, to say, hey, I missed the first 12 or so games, but I can help this team. That's a rare decision made in this era of college athletics in general. And so appreciative and proud of Will for doing that, because it says a lot about his character and what this team means to him.
Yeah, and he played so well down the stretch last year and then gets hurt.
Yeah.
What's it say about him that he's able to come off of that injury and, be hitting shots and, getting rebounds and stuff? Like I said, the second he stepped on the floor, he was making a contribution.
I mean, it's amazing, right? And I just think some guys have that competitive edge. Some guys have that toughness. And to be honest with you, he'd planned on redshirting all year. He and I had talked about that. I mean, it was not a conversation until, 2 days ago. I'll be honest, I didn't think we'd have this conversation, but what do you think? So for him to be able to mentally withstand that, right, to go from, an injury, being away from home, he had a hard semester. He had a really hard first 6 months at JMU. It was not great for him, I promise you. It's just a lot for a 19-year-old to overcome. So for him to say, you know what, like, yeah, I can help this team, and that's the most important thing for me, it's a huge statement. It says a lot about him, and that I think that's going to have a ripple effect amongst our team.
New Year's resolution this year, Coach?
Oh, man. I don't really do resolutions, but, we chose a word, okay, as a team. And we each talked about, or individually, everybody chose a word of, hey, what are you going to bring to this team? What can you commit to this team bringing forward that is unique for you? And, my word was purpose. I wanted to do a better job of win, lose, good practice, good rep, bad rep, of just letting these guys know what my purpose is. And it's not just to win games. It's to see these guys really develop and receive the gift of the game, and that's how to become great men, great fathers, great husbands. And so I was committing to doing that better than what I've done to this point.
Coach, you had a tough fought game today, and then you're facing another tough game on Saturday. How do you feel about your team going into Saturday against Arkansas?
A lot better than had we come in and not played tough, I'll tell you that, because a lot of those things are going to translate, right? We're going to have to, replicate a lot of the efforts and, tough plays that we made here tonight on both sides of the ball. I don't know a lot about Arkansas State. It's a beauty of having an all-star staff like I do, because they'll get me caught up to speed pretty quickly and get me ready to go, and then we'll quickly translate that to the guys. But, I know they're a really good team. I know they're fearless, and I did see them. They were down 27 at UAB a month or so ago, came back, found a way to win that game. So, they're a confident bunch, but I like where we're at, coming into to this matchup against these guys, and my expectation is that our guys are going to be ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.